Beneath the beauty of our national parks, something ancient stirs. Forgotten tunnels, sealed chambers, and things that were never meant to be unearthed. Tonight, you'll hear two true stories from people who went exploring and came back changed forever. If they came back at all. My best friend disappeared during a camping trip last summer. No one believed me when I said he was taken. They said he probably got lost or ran away. But I know what I saw, and if I tell you what really happened, you might not sleep tonight, just like I haven't. My friend walked into the woods and never came back. Last summer, me and 3 friends, Ryan, Jacob, and Eli, went camping deep in the forest. It was Eli's idea. He found this spot that wasn't on any map, way off the main trail, surrounded by mountains and thick trees. No signal, no people, just us in the wild. We thought it'd be fun. One of those memories we'd laugh about years later. But we don't laugh about it. Not anymore. We'll never laugh about anything that happened on that trip. We hiked most of the day to get there, crossed a river, climbed a ridge, even had to crawl under some fallen trees. When we finally reached the spot, I'll admit, it was beautiful. Quiet. Still. The kind of place that feels untouched. We set up our tents and started a fire. Ryan cooked. Jacob was telling dumb stories, and Eli, he just stared into the woods. He kept saying something felt off, like we were being watched. We all told him to chill. Figured he was just tired. Later that night, we were sitting around the fire when Eli stood up and said he heard something. A voice. None of us heard it. He said it sounded like someone whispering his name. We joked about it, called him paranoid, but he wasn't laughing. He grabbed a flashlight and said, "I just want to check it out. I'll be back in 5. That was the last time we saw him. 5 minutes passed, then 10, then 20. We started calling his name. No answer. We thought maybe he got lost, so we grabbed lights and went looking. Ryan and I went east. Jacob went west. But the woods just swallowed him. There was no sound, no broken branches, no tracks, like he just vanished. We searched all night. No sleep, just yelling his name, shining lights, hoping we'd hear him call back. But we never did. When the sun came up, we split up again. I climbed the ridge to get a better view. That's when I saw it. About 50 feet from camp, behind a thick patch of trees, was a circle of stones, perfectly shaped, flat, gray, smooth like they'd been polished. And in the center was Eli's flashlight, still on, but no Eli. I called the others over. None of us had ever seen the stones before. They weren't there the day before. I was sure of it. Jacob stepped into the circle. I told him not to, but he laughed it off. Said it was probably some old campsite. He picked up flashlight, and it shut off. Not flickered, not died. Just clicked off like someone hit the switch. Jacob looked pale. Said he felt dizzy. We helped him out of the circle and sat him down. That's when things started getting weird. Jacob started talking about things that didn't make sense. Said he saw people in the trees. Said Eli was calling to him from inside the rocks. His nose started bleeding. We packed up right then. Just left everything except our essentials and hiked out as fast as we could. Jacob didn't speak the whole way, just stared at the trees. By the time we got back to the ranger station, he was shaking. We told the ranger our friend went missing. They searched for 3 days. No sign of Eli. Not a footprint. Not a piece of clothing. They even brought in dogs, but the dogs refused to go near that part of the woods. Sat down and whined like something scared them. We went home without him. A week later, Jacob vanished. His mom said he left a note that just said, "He's waiting for me." They found his car parked at the trailhead near the same forest, but not him. Me and Ryan stopped talking after that. We couldn't even look each other in the eye. Then, 2 months ago, I got a message. Just one word, "Come back," from Eli's number. I thought it was some sick joke, but when I opened the message, my phone froze. The screen went black for a second, then flashed a photo. It was us, all four of us, sitting at the campfire. But it wasn't a photo we took. We were being watched. I showed it to Ryan. He turned pale, said he'd been getting the same message every night at 3:13 a.m. Same word, same photo. Then he stopped replying. I went to his apartment. The door was unlocked. His phone was on the floor, still glowing. The screen showed one word: closer. The police say he ran away. But I know better, because last night I woke up and found mud on my bedroom floor. And my tent, one I left behind on that trip, was set up in my backyard. Inside was a circle of stones, and Eli's flashlight, still on. Story 2. I camped where the locals said not to. I should have listened. I should have taken the warning seriously. The old man at the gas station said it with such a blank look, like he wasn't even trying to scare me, just stating a fact. Don't camp past the stone arch, he told me, pointing toward the forest behind the ridge. That land ain't right. I laughed it off, thanked him, and drove on. I was doing a solo trip through a stretch of the Ozarks. Just me, a tent, a map, and a weekend to kill. I liked silence. I liked being away from people. This place seemed perfect. Forests, rivers, and no cell service. I hiked in a couple of miles and came across what the man had talked about. A stone arch. Not like some ancient ruin or anything fancy. Just two tall rocks leaning together in a way that made a sort of crooked doorway. Nature made, I figured. It looked cool. Creepy, but cool. I walked right through it, thinking maybe it was part of an old trail marker. Nothing changed. No dramatic shift in weather or feeling. So I kept going, set up camp near a little stream, and called it a night. That's when things started getting weird. At around 2 a.m., I woke up because something was brushing against my tent. Slow, steady strokes. At first, I thought it was the wind. Then I heard breathing. Not heavy, not fast, just wrong. It sounded like someone trying to copy breathing, like a bad impression. I held my knife in one hand and unzipped the tent slowly. There was no one there, but all the trees looked different. Bent, twisted like they'd grown in a circle around my tent. And the stone arch? Nowhere in sight. I packed up at first light, but I couldn't find the trail. I walked for hours. Compass needles spun in circles. The stream I camped beside was gone, replaced by thick moss and dead trees. At noon, I came across something strange. A totem, maybe. It was a post stuck in the ground, covered in dried mud and feathers, with a deer skull tied to the top. Human teeth were hanging on twine from the eye sockets. I stepped around it carefully, heart pounding. Then I saw the figures. In the trees, not moving, not talking, just standing. They wore tattered robes, their faces covered by old bark-like masks. No eyes, just carved holes where eyes should be. They didn't follow me, not yet. I ran, twisted my ankle in a ditch and fell face first into the mud. When I looked up, one of them was right in front of me. But it didn't move. It just raised a hand and pointed behind me. I turned slowly. There was a woman standing by the trees, barefoot, dirty, with long black hair that looked like it had twigs growing from it. Her face was old and cracked like dried riverbed clay. Her eyes were white, no pupils. She whispered something, and I swear the forest moved. I turned back to the masked figure, gone. The woman walked toward me, but her feet didn't touch the ground. She just floated forward. I backed away, fell again. She stopped over me, leaned down, and said one word in a voice that wasn't human. Mine. Then I blacked out. When I woke, it was dark again. The forest was silent. No wind, no insects, just my own breathing. My bag was gone. So was my phone. So was my knife. I started walking again, limping. Every direction looked the same. After what felt like hours, I saw a light. A small campfire in the distance. I rushed toward it. But as I got closer, I realized it wasn't fire. It was glowing figures, transparent, pale, faces like melting wax. They were all whispering the same word over and over. Return, return, return. One of them turned toward me and screamed, The sound made my ears ring and nose bleed. I dropped to the ground and covered my ears. When I looked up, they were gone. But now I could hear something else. Drums. Soft, slow, getting louder. I ran. Didn't care which way. I found the arch again, but it looked different. Smaller, covered in black moss and hanging with bones. I crawled through it. Felt something pull at my shirt, sharp nails scraping my back. Then I hit the dirt on the other side. Daylight, birds chirping. I was lying in a field not far from my car, bleeding from the back, muddy, scratched. I looked back at the arch. Gone. No stones, no trail, just trees. I drove straight home, didn't sleep for 2 days. My back had 3 long cuts across it like claws. Doctors said it was an animal. But I know what I saw. I went back to the gas station a month later. The old man wasn't surprised. He just said, "You came back. Most don't."